Hey, what's up, everyone? I don't know if you heard about that earthquake in California or not, but it happened right on the in that San Andreas Fault, and there were 29 earthquakes reported. They said that the Ring of Fire is very active right now in the North American continent and Canada, the United States, North America, and Mexico. So the Ring of Fire is very active right now. There have been hundreds of minor quakes reported all over California, and they said the people were quite rattled. Some people thought it was fireworks going off until the ground started shaking and everything was going crazy. They said, here's the thing, they said the gas stations were out. People couldn't get gas. They said, have necessities on you. Have your tank full. This really makes people think. They said it makes you think. You really need your gas tank to be full, and you need to have some water and some food on hand, and any type of supplies that you need, because they stated the gas pumps wouldn't work, electricity was out, cell phone signals that were disrupted, and another thing. Let me show you something. Let's see. I had it. Well, there it is. Something interesting to share. There's going to be a total solar eclipse, a black moon, and a double meteor shower, and much more. And that's just in July. July, they said, is going to be one of the busiest months for sky watchers in a while around this world. They said there is going to be a total solar eclipse July 2nd, visible from South America. July 9th, Saturn will get super bright and reach opposition on July 9th, meaning it's going to be closest to the Earth and appear brighter than usual. So you can actually get a glimpse of Saturn and its dazzling rings. And July 16th, a thunder moon partially eclipsed the full moon, known as a thunder moon, a buck moon, ripe corn moon, hay moon, the old moon, July 16th. Not be visible from North America, but you can still see it online, I'm sure. July 29th and 30th, there will be double meteor showers, but only about 25 meteors per hour, so the Delta and Aquariids and Alpha Capricorniids. July 31st, there'll be a black moon. The black moon is the opposite of a blue moon. AccuWeather said that instead of 2 full moons in a month, a black moon refers to the 2 new moons within a month. So that's actually good for astronomy enthusiasts, because obviously it means plenty of opportunities to get a good stargazing opportunity. You can see the sky plenty because the moon will not be bright. It'll be completely dark, and you can see all of the stars. So aside from that 6.4 in California, there was a 4.6 also in California, and several aftershocks. Several aftershocks. So they're still doing live coverage on YouTube of the earthquakes in California. They've inspected all of the bridges in the area where the earthquake struck. But the thing is, they stated, okay, they're talking about a 6.8 right now. Apparently a magnitude 6.8 has also hit California. It was felt in Los Angeles and Las Vegas. It's been the strongest earthquake in years. They said it felt like something rolling underneath them. So they're still reporting on Twitter. That was the biggest earthquake in 20 years to rock Southern California. It was felt all the way into Las Vegas. And according to the news, earthquakes have been rocking the United States and Canada all day today, as geologists detected a cluster of seismic activity in the northern Americas. So I'm glad I did report that there was likely to be earthquakes a few days ago, because it's happening. I can't hardly get through this article. They want me to agree to the terms, and I can't get this to... They said the United States and Canada saw the most earthquake activity today with 29 earthquakes in the region. And apparently, Yellowstone is being rocked by earthquakes now. As you can see right there. Yellowstone is being rocked by quakes. So what does it mean? Well, I mean, no one really knows exactly. No one can tell you exactly what is going to happen, obviously. But there was an interesting situation today, or yesterday. This man was on a plane. This individual was on a plane. And, also, there's been a lot of volcanic eruptions. There have been a lot of volcanic eruptions worldwide right now. They are escalating big time. But this man was on a plane and they said he just sat there, and this individual said he started talking about Jesus. And he said, I just started ignoring him. That's what they stated, when he was talking about Jesus and God. And then they said the individual got up and started walking, and they said, Sir, you can't be standing up while we're in the air, sir. And he started walking to the cockpit area. And he said, we have to stop this plane. This flight is doomed. This flight is doomed. After he finally talked. And he suddenly, it sounded like an episode of Supernatural. He said, this is God speaking. He said, I am God. I was like, when I read that article, I was like, okay. And I kept reading. And they said the individual said that San Jose was going to disappear, and this flight is doomed. And so they took him off. They returned the flight, and I found that kind of weird how... Okay, so they're going a little bit further now on Fox News and talking about it. But it was weird. Sometimes there have been cases where God has spoken through people. Now, I know no one can say that they're God or Jesus. I get that. And that this man said that, and he said he stormed to the cockpit to end terrorism. He said, they're not actually going to tell here. Okay, he said, I am tomorrow. He said, I am God. Tomorrow San Juan is going to disappear. So he says, tomorrow San Juan is going to disappear. The suspect, they said, was 30 years old. Carlos Ramirez allegedly shouted as he stormed down the plane's aisle toward the cockpit. They said it happened shortly after it took off. Delta Flight 579. It took off from Luis Munoz Marin International Airport. He said, I came to save the world, and I'm going to end terrorism. Now think about that statement. I am God. Tomorrow San Juan is going to disappear. I came to save the world, and I'm going to end terrorism. So then they get an earthquake in California, in San Juan and other areas, which, I just found that to be kind of strange. They did get them to turn the flight around, but when he got to the middle of the plane, the flight attendants tried to stop him. They said 3 flight attendants told him to sit down, and but he insisted he was God and preventing a catastrophe on the plane. I mean, who knows? Maybe he did prevent a catastrophe on the plane. Maybe the plane was doomed. I mean, I'm not, obviously the guy is not, but maybe something possessed him to speak through him. I don't know. But he got in the cockpit, but I do know, the Bible says, Jesus states, for if they say, there's Jesus, there's the Lord, he is there, do not go, for they are lying, there'll be false prophets everywhere and all that. But maybe God has spoken through that man, who knows? But anyway, the pilot returned to San Juan, where he was taken into custody. The case has been turned over to the FBI. There were 160 passengers on that flight. They said the flight arrived 2 hours later than expected. And some people were so shaken up, they were all pretty nervous. And they said some of them didn't go back on that flight. Nobody knew what to do. Everyone was jumping out of their seats to figure out what was going on. They said they were more scared than angry. This one guy said he was about to beat him up himself. Now, what they were stating was he starts talking about Jesus this, and the world was going to end, and the plane was going to crash. And of course they said just another fool. They said just another idiot. But who knows? Maybe God spoke through this individual. I don't know, I'm not saying, but kind of interesting. Obviously, no one is God. No one is God himself or Jesus. But it's interesting that this happened. What's really interesting is how the California earthquake happened shortly after, according to this article. This is where that earthquake was generally felt. Actually, it was felt many hundreds of miles away, but that was the epicenter. These are some of the reports of earthquakes off the coast of California. Right there. As you can see, right off the coast. And another right there with the epicenter where the star is located. Now, a giant sinkhole opened up and swallowed a garbage truck. I'm not sure if anyone was in that truck or not, but it was right near this person's home, and as you can see, power lines and power cables, network cables, broken, and the truck was swallowed whole by the earth. This huge sinkhole opened up in Naples, Italy. Meanwhile, Mount Etna is also erupting. Mount Vesuvius is also showing signs, and I think erupting now, as well as the volcanoes of Italy. Other volcanoes of Italy. I believe the volcano in Italy actually killed some individuals. It killed some people. This is the volcano in Italy. And Hurricane Barbara suddenly exploded within 24 hours and became a Category 4 hurricane. This is the pressure and the wind speeds shown here. It's moving west-northwest at 13 miles per hour, so not the fastest moving storm, but nonetheless, regardless, it's heading toward the United States. And this is in Mumbai. This is an image coming out of the country of Mumbai. They said it's their worst flooding and worst rains, record rains that they've ever had in decades. That's tens of years. And 15 people have been reported to have died from this flooding. And this flooding took place within just a few minutes and ravaged the area with record amounts of rainfall. They said it was the heaviest rain that India has seen in decades. So they said it was rain chaos. As you can see right there, it's in chaos. Mauna Loa showing signs of activity. Yellowstone has been they've had over 50 earthquakes, 50 tremors felt at Yellowstone. Now this has happened before, and there's been a minor quake with a little bit of an eruption, but they said that there have been record amounts of geyser eruptions. The steam geyser, Old Faithful, has gone off more times this year than ever recorded. And scientists are baffled as to why Old Faithful keeps on going off this year and why so many tremors are happening at Yellowstone. They claimed the reason why over 50,000 animals left the area was because that's just a normal yearly thing every summer. But who knows? We'll have to see and keep our eyes open. They say Alaska. This is Alaska. They say it's baking and it's on fire. Record heat reported in Alaska and record fires reported in Alaska as well. And this was a sky phenomenon. They're still trying to figure out what this is. It looks to me similar to the Aurora Borealis, some sort of a reaction caused by particles colliding in the atmosphere and reacting with the Earth's atmosphere. That's what it looks like to me. They also say that there's an asteroid headed to Earth. They say for sure that it might hit or it might not. I mean, they say one of them has a 1 in 1,000 chance. The other one has a 1 in some odd million chance. And there is supposed to be, it's a possibility that in October that an asteroid could hit the Earth. There's also another chance in 2024, then it comes back in 2025. Oddly enough, 2024 during the eclipse year, which that makes an X across the United States, the second Great American Eclipse in 7 years from the last one. And then a meteor comes by in 2029. I think 2030 to 33 will be a pivotal point. I really do. I've thought that for years, since my childhood. But comes by in 2029, Apophis, they say, and then I read about that when I was in elementary school, 2004. They said that Apophis comes by 2029 and then returns 7 years later. If it's pulled in by our gravity, it could return. They say mice are jumping to their deaths, and no one knows why. The mice thing doesn't really bother me. But anyway, this is a yellow jacket nest. They say they're the size of vehicles. These yellow jackets are making giant nests the size of vehicles. There's been a crisis, U.S. farming crisis. Hail destroyed all the crops, and 3 feet 3 inches of hail fell in this area. 3 feet 3 inches of hail. That was a powerful hailstorm in Guadalajara, Mexico. Guadalajara, Mexico. That's 1 meter of hail, which is 3 feet 3 inches, 3.3 feet. So I'll keep you updated as things happen. This is the snow that was felt in Finland while the rest of Eastern Europe sweltered. 1 in 10 people have been getting near-death experiences, and these are some images of cattle that have been swept away by the flooding 5 days ago in the rivers in Minnesota. So, very sad images there. I'll end with something positive and happy. Sending love and lots of hearts. I love you all so much. My new phone won't record for some reason. It won't screen record. I've tried, but it sometimes does and sometimes won't. It depends on the screen recorder. But the other one's more difficult to deal with. But the AZ screen recorder is better, but it doesn't want to work. It just won't let me agree with the permissions. So, anyway, sending love, peace, stay as safe as possible. Just wanted to keep you updated on the events taking place in the world around us. Another thing, I meant to share that there have been internet outages. They said the internet broke. Facebook, Verizon, and other companies were seeing major outages. They said internet outages are actually getting more serious. Fiber optic cables are getting damaged in some places, and there's been a lot of issues with AT&T. And just remember that tomorrow, when the sun blast does reach the Earth, there will be disruptions. There could be disruptions in technology. That includes GPS, satellite technology, internet, cell phone connections, your cell towers, your radio communications, anything satellite, TV and internet, any type of radio frequency could screw up. They said it's a fun joke when the internet goes down, but it can have real consequences. They said they actually spent the majority of the weekend trying to fix this, and the majority of today, social media was going out experiencing failure, and it was an inconvenience. But it happens. See all these outages across the East Coast, and Cloudflare, the cloud was going out. They said when the cloud goes out, they said websites go down worldwide due to Cloudflare outage. Websites were going down worldwide. Major websites and services across the internet went down on Tuesday. So a lot of outages are happening that caused Facebook, Verizon, cloud sharing websites, Cloudflare, all kinds of anything that runs on the cloud was going out. So how dependent we are on the internet now, all infrastructure messes up when the cloud goes down or messes up. And that's what's been happening. They said it shows how fragile and vulnerable we are, and causes chaos. But anyway, just thought I'd share that. Still sending love, but I forgot to share that. Peace, much love, signing out. Links are below. Bye.